Rolling. The following contest is what might be my favorite podcast ever. Scheduled for one fall. Actually, I'm going to see how far I can lean it to the left, dude. Dude, you can see to the left still. Are we ready, dude?
Yo, yeah, are we not rolling already?
I'm rolling, dude. You can see to the left on my screen people that are working over there, dude. You can see the whole shit.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling. I'm rolling.
We're rolling.
Maybe you do the hand for me. Oh, sorry. You got your hand on. You got two fingers on other shit. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what real motherfucking travel is like. Okay, this is half.
Here, find your spot, just so I can.
My spot is here. Okay. This is half travel podcast, half travel vlog, half wrestling diaries, half ham, half cheese, half turkey.
Oh yeah,
we got motherfucking clothes drying on the cactus. I didn't say it. We got clothes drying on the cactus. I think I keep my left hand because I like to keep my right hand for activities. You know what I mean? This is a good view right here. Hopefully we can catch a good audio. Shout out my are we still rolling? Dude, we are a minute and 22 seconds in to the Hostel Bob Travel Podcast, live from the fucking slums of Mexico City. And we got clothes drying on the fucking rack. We got a cactus we're using for fucking thing. And we are rolling. Are we rolling, Ariel Vongo?
You know what? Just keep going.
We're going to roll in Ariel Vongo.
I gotta do my thing, but I figured.
Ayo, this is the Hostel Bob Travel Podcast. My name is Bobby Flaco. This is Ariel Vongo.
Ariel Vongo! Go.
He's got his own mic. I didn't have to do that. We are both on some awesome travel adventures of our own right now. He's coming off of a fresh trip from Colombia and Bolivia. My man wrestled in a bunch of altitude. My man went through a fucking table.
Crazy.
At altitude, which just has to be an insane experience.
Highest place in the world that wrestling exists.
Really?
Nuts, right?
It is the highest place in the world that
highest
wrestling
capital
exists.
City for sure.
That's for sure. This is the highest capital city. After that, Colombia, he met some crazy people. You saw the last travel podcast where I was in, the last travel podcast where I was in Iztapalapa, Mexico, the place where they don't want you to go in Mexico. And let me tell you, brother, I miss it. This is the place where they don't tell you to go. If you look at the camera right now, you can see the full traffic. I wish you could smell the emissions that are coming out of this place.
This place is unreal, bro.
So shout out Ariel Vongo because he relieved a very big thing to me. The vlogs help with it. The podcast helps being able to talk. But he's the first person I've really been able to just sit down and talk to in English. You got it going on over there?
You know, I'm always fidgety with the setups, but I'm here, baby.
He's fucking with the stuff over there. Okay, so since I've seen you guys last, a lot has happened. I've climbed a couple temples. Went to the Teotihuacan. But let me just get straight to the bullshit. Let me get straight to the clickbait. Let me get straight to the problems we've been running into as foreigners here. Actually, you know what? I will still keep to what I'm saying is that Mexico City almost is probably the largest, the safest I felt in a big city.
Really?
Especially maybe Latin America.
Really?
I mean, Guatemala City's rough. As it goes broadly, I think the neighborhoods, and tell me if I'm wrong, the neighborhoods in Lima, there's like 2 of them. There's 3 of them. There's 4 of them. There's 5 of them.
What you mean?
Neighborhoods where you can really, really go and be safe. In like
Lima,
Peru, Chile. You know, there's places, but there's like 4 or 5 or 6 of them. But like, aside from what happened today, like inside the city limits, anywhere I go walk, anywhere I hop off the metro, I don't feel that unsafe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Compared to like Guatemala City or like Plaza de Armas in Chile.
Plaza de Armas is pretty.
You know what I mean?
That is dangerous of the dangerous. That's right downtown, though.
This
isn't necessarily right downtown.
But you can go downtown here. You can go to like the local area. You can go to like the most popular area here still. You know, you can still do that.
Yeah.
Like, but you don't go to downtown Lima, you know? You don't go to the square in Guatemala City like after dark or whatever, you know.
Definitely
But
not after dark. Downtown Lima is pretty cool.
I say that to say this. So there's the areas of here and most touristy areas to where like it's like bar, 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 bar. You know, we got drink specials here. We got food specials here. Shout out to coffee.
Gotta love it.
We got drink specials here. We got food specials here. Well, I just decided to go to like the next one. I've told him the story already. I just decided to go to like the next one, a bar. Someone told me to go there, and like I didn't like enter the building. I didn't like ask them for that much information. I kind of just was over there like motioned like I was kind of go to the building, and then you start getting searched like you're going into a bar or whatever, you know? Like that was like very intense. Like they're searching through like the wallet and stuff. Like nobody took my money, but in my little fanny pack, I had just bought some Rillos, some cigars to smoke with, and like they didn't even like take only took it and put it in their pocket, and I had to be the one to be like, what the fuck, like how are you just gonna take my shit? And he's like, oh no, you can't. He's like, oh no, you can't just come in here with this. Like, what if like and I'm like, no, but no, I'm not gonna go in there anymore, you know? He's like, no, now I gotta check your nuts and everything because you're probably gonna use these to smoke weed and like yada yada yada. And I was like, and I was starting to give, I was like, chécame los huevos, bro. Yo no quiero entrar tu pinche lugar todavía, ya no. And I was like, you just check it. I don't even want to go in your little place anymore. Like, just give me my cigars back. And he's like, no, you broke the rules. You can't like, you don't really get your cigars back. And like, you know, I'm like half drunk, like an American tourist. Like, there's a car off the side of the road right here. I'm like half drunk, like an American tourist. Like, luckily I didn't have any weed on me. Like, that could have been like really, really like bad, you know? It could have turned into like some police corruption stuff, like real quick. And it just felt super like tourist trappy. Like, it was almost like we're gonna find some shit on you in order for us to take it. Because I had stumbled by a couple other places before, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they took my water immediately and like chunked that shit." Like, they were rude, bro. And like, I've been to other places where like they take your water and take care of it for you, and like your cigar. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I just bought them at the little guy in the blanket. You know, I just bought them.
Yeah,
no worries. We'll keep it right here. Come on in, have a drink with us. I've even been to places where they did all that, took me in. It was just way too expensive for me, and I'm like, no, I don't want to come in here. They're like, no problem, my friend. Yada yada yada. This other place was just like, fuck you. You were gonna come in here and smoke blunts. Fuck you. These are my cigars now.
It's just freaking wild. You're just you're just a patron. You just wanted to come check out their establishment. They give you this hard time.
Yeah.
You want to leave, and then they take your stuff and don't give it back. Like, what the hell? You sure your camera's a good angle? Looks a little. It's
good because I'm the last thing. I'm the very last thing. It's the widest angle. It's wide, dude. It's like right here. So I'm the last thing. I can see the whole chair without me sitting in it. And like I said, sorry.
No, you're good.
The angle we checked is good, but yeah, that's pretty insane. You know, that was basically kind of just a robbery. You know, like just highway robbery. Straight up robbery for like 5 Rillos, which amounts to like $5. I was brave, dude. I was like, when I don't have weed on me, and when I don't have an obvious reason to go to jail, I'm pretty brave. I'm like,
we don't have an obvious reason to go to jail.
I was like, disfruta tu pinche dinero, güey, si quieres. Like, I was like, okay, you earned it. Or like, enjoy your fucking money, dude.
Hot-headed Bob, I tell you.
Enjoy your. I'm hot-headed. I'm more hot-headed than most people think. But yeah, that got me hot-headed a little bit. But whatever. So today, Ariel Von Gogh, this story has something to do with you now. We switched to another bit of a confrontation today in Mexico with the police.
We didn't even get 25 feet.
We didn't get 25 feet from our apartment. Ariel Von Gogh had just got here, and we got pulled over and accused of walking while black.
Walking while black.
TWB, I think is what they call it here in Mexico.
So right down here is a wonderful view. We go outside, we go to the left, not even 25 feet. And there's 2 cop cars. They come like, you know, they're coming the opposite way of us. And, you know, everything's cool. We keep walking. And then they turn down the street that we turned down. They start following both of us. And then pretty quickly, one of them rolls right up next to me. Now, me and Flaco are walking together. maybe with a couple feet between us. But he goes. I'm a little ahead. He comes up to me and directly addresses me. What does he say?
He's like, "¿De dónde son?" He's like, "Where y'all from?" He's like, "Where y'all
Where y'all
from?"
staying?
He's like, "Where y'all from first?" He's like, "Where y'all staying?"
We're like,
He was like, "Yeah." I went up
guy.
and talked to him. He's like, I could kind of halfway hear him at first. It sounded like "De dónde son?" Like, "Where y'all from?" I was like, and when I got in the car, he was like, "What?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "¿Dónde están quedando?" I'm like, "Oh, don't. Where are we staying?" He's like, "Oh, I'm staying at this Airbnb above the bar right there." He's like, "No son de aquí?" He's like, "You're not from here?" I'm like, No. We're just here at an Airbnb on vacation." And like, I don't think I said vacation, but when I said Airbnb, he's like, "Oh." He kind of noticed it, but he was still like super firm, and he was like, "Oh, pues ándale." Like, now it was just over at that point.
He totally stopped the car. I thought he was about to get out and like at least check our passports at the very least.
Yeah.
At the worst, shake us down. You know what I mean? But hey, this is not my first time being stopped
traveling while
for
black.
no reason.
Traveling while black.
While committing a DW. What?
DWB, brother. No,
TWB.
TWB. Traveling while black.
But yeah, it is what it is. But I thought it happened to all foreigners type of thing. But Flaco was saying he was here for a week, and that never happened to him.
I would say I was not in this neighborhood. I was in a different neighborhood, but it was the same level of like. It was a bit nicer, but still, yeah. I don't know. I'm not black, so I won't. I don't know, but it was just so interesting how like as soon as you got here, like no sooner than we got around the corner, like woo woo, like police like coming to pulling over for no reason. I've never in my life been pulled over for no reason. You probably have, but I've never in my life been pulled over for no reason.
Zero. But
any of these countries.
Yeah, I mean, it was glad we were clean. We weren't riding dirty. We weren't walking dirty. We were just
Yeah, dude,
I wanted to get some tacos.
I walked and picked up a lot of weed around here a couple days ago. I'm lucky. That wasn't me.
Yeah,
it's
you
so
could have
wild.
been caught at the wrong time.
Yeah, I was shaking, dude. That shit was weird, man. Like I'm just such a fucking dumb white American. Like
tranquilo, stay calm. I'm pretty good staying calm under pressure. One of those
especially
things.
when I wasn't doing nothing. If I'd had weed, that would have been rough. But to be fair, he didn't like. Okay, now I'm gonna check you. In a way, he could have been looking out for his community. He was keeping black people out of his community.
That's. You said you have a friend that lives close to here.
Oh, dude!
You told him the story. What did he say from a legit citizen?
Oh, I will put the screenshot at the bottom of the shit. She said, "Ha ha ha! It's because he's black."
Well, I guess that confirms it.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy how we complain in America, right? Like there's inequality everywhere. There's injustice everywhere. We're not going to get too deep in the weeds, but I'm just saying. I didn't get 25 feet from my Airbnb that we paid, and I'm already boom. Why are you here? Where are you staying? Like, okay, that was like turned up to 10, like 100. I don't know, man.
I have a friend who just moved back from Italy, who is a white girl, but she moved from America to get away from not injustices towards her, but her perceived injustices towards her friends, right? Okay. Which are true. But dude, she got to Italy. You've been to Europe and shit, right?
Yeah.
It's rough out there too. They're fucking racist. Racist out there. And it is an entirely like different thing. Like she moved back to America.
I guess we're in the After Dark segment now.
White person, like this. Light it up. A white person
we're in the After Dark segment.
Moved home from Italy because of the racism. Like we should hold ourselves accountable in America. Like fire those cops that did all that shit. You feel me? But like, it's crazy. But to be fair, these same realizations that I come to being around black people with injustice have occurred to me in America as well. Like I'll be riding around with people from the 4. You know what I mean? And that's the first time it's like
school. WA4.
Yeah, that's the first time it's like. I would have had a bad tag or something. I didn't get pulled over for no reason, but I got pulled over with much larger frequency. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't want to get on a tangent, but I just want to I'm doing the thing podcasters do where they try to explain that they're not a piece of shit.
Well, hey,
you know what I mean?
God
damn it! I catch Julian Dory doing this shit all the time. He's like, I'm not gonna say I agree with Hitler. You know what I mean? But some of the things he did were effective. But and it's like you don't have to put the little speech before, dude. We know you're not a piece of shit. I just did that. So yeah, I guess I'm a fucking.
To your credit, though, we appreciate people like you in the road trip.
I'm just a podcaster.
We appreciate you. I know. I remember many road trips where it's a car full of Hispanics, black dudes, you know, and one white guy, one kind of little bit of straight lace, you know what I mean? You know, got his shirt tucked in, got his pocket protector. I'm totally kidding, but I'm just saying, if we get pulled over for speeding, or you know, maybe we're at the gas station and the cops are just kind of like doing the little circle thing, like what are these groups of guys doing? They roll up with that attitude and that aggression, and then they realize like they see there's like one white dude, and if that white dude would have raised his hand and, oh, sorry, officer, me and my friends here were just traveling through, and then they relax. It's crazy how quickly they disarm.
Yep.
Versus all the other times when I'm with my family or with, you know, friends that look like me, it's much harder to, not saying everybody, obviously, but I had multiple experiences where we cannot disarm, or not disarm, what am I looking for? De-escalate.
Yep.
Because they're already at a level 9 or a level 10. You know what I mean? It's kind of
that guy was escalated. He was tense. He was tense. I mean, we were both like, one of us was black. We were both wearing black hoodies. I've come to this realization, and I think Ari Shaffir said it before on his travel podcast. He's like, sometimes you're the drug addict. Sometimes you're the guy in the dark fucking clothes looking for drugs or on drugs in these places that where children are supposed to be trying to play in their park, and we're over there trying to find weed and shit. You know what I mean?
Which at the end of the day is fine. It's a plant. But I understand what you're saying for sure.
So interesting. Yes, so interesting, man. We fucking like. That was the first time that's ever happened to me in these places for sure. You know, we talk about how people do and don't get treated. Like I've heard a lot about like how Americans or the protests against Americans here. I haven't seen none of that shit. I've only seen protests against goddamn Palestine or whatever the fuck's going on in Mexico City when I went there. Oh, yeah. I was mind blown. It was like that square on the video I showed you, just packed full of people, and it's fucking like
I was blunt hogging like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh god!
Yo, how's that game hit? All the way from the USA. I imported these. You out here smoking all kinds of stuff that you can get your hands on. I bought some US.
We got some imported American tobacco here.
American tobacco. I'm already running out. The way we're smoking, dog. I don't know if we're gonna last too much longer after this wrestling trip.
I'm willing to make you an offer you're not willing to. An offer you can't receive. God damn it! An offer you can't refuse.
All the trouble it took to pack all those games.
If you're still with us, man, thank you so much. I wanted to bring this whole experience to us because, man, this porch is fucking insane, dude. Like, what can I see? I'll do some zooming in. I'm not gonna.
All right.
Wait, I'm not gonna fuck with it actually. But off here to the left, all the people coming and going through that little middle section right here, like, I mean, bro, there's how many? It's kind of quiet right now, but there's like. Let me just describe to you one thing that's happening right now. Lots of car beeping. There's a man. He's walking away. Everybody seems to be closing up shop for the night. Actually. But normally there's no less than like fucking 10 or 12. Normally there's no less than like 10 or 12 workers out here. Ranging from ages like 9-year-old girls to like fucking like old men, and like the ones that are actively out there working the whole time, like none of them seem to be. They're not. I don't think they're addicts. Like I think the addicts in this area are the people that are going to the local businesses and like helping out like little bit by little, like the homeless people in Atlanta. Dude, I had a friend when I used to work valet in Atlanta.
Yeah,
and I would do. I worked at this place called at the Opera, basically across the street from the Opera. I would do valet. And there was a guy named Kyle. He was my friend, my homeless friend. And he would, like, his hustle was he would go to every little business and, like, take out the trash and, like, yada, 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 yada. Get a little bit of food. He would even give me shit sometimes. Because, like, they would give him, like, he'd be like, hey, give me a drink except for my friends or whatever. After he fucking worked his little shift to taking out the trash, he would get 2 lemonades and he would, like, bring me one. You know what I mean? And I would always fuck with him with money and shit. But, yeah. That was my boy Kyle. One time he went to jail and he came back fat as fuck. He was like, hey, man, Lucas, what you doing? I'm like, damn, Kyle, you got fat as fuck in there, dude.
You did it wrong. He's supposed to get that prison workout.
No. He was getting full meals, brother. He's getting 3 meals a day in there, brother. getting it in down. All right, so now that I've put myself over and talked about my stories, but yeah, any other like things to talk you want to say off the top of your head about the police interaction today?
No, it is what it is. Like, I guess to me, it's like become kind of normal. That's why I was like so calm. The only other time that it was completely unwarranted and happened to me was in Chile. Actually, this was my maybe my first or second visit in Chile, and I was with some of the wrestlers, some of the students, and we were just. It might have been like 10:30 p.m. You know, we're kind of in the suburb area outside the city. It's kind of quiet or whatnot, but there's a pizza place. We're getting some pizza and waiting on our order. And the calaberos, I think they call them.
Caballeros,
Calabe, cale,
like on the bathroom sign,
yeah,
caballeros, yeah,
caballeros or
yeah,
something like that. Or maybe I'm butchering it.
yeah, it's like gentlemen.
They pull up and then they get out of their cars and, you know, they kind of have that walk. And in Chile, uh, the cops aren't super well received like by the public. There's a lot of tension there like already with the cops and the citizens. So they come up and they're saying some things in Spanish and they seem nice enough, but you know they're approaching us and asking for all of our documents. Now at the time, it did say like on the U.S. state government website like you could be stopped at any time, like always carry your documents. Like I think it was like maybe allowed like you know in Chile like
Yeah,
to be checked at any time.
I remember that being a thing.
I'm not sure, but it seemed. But anyway, so you know I didn't have my passport on me at that time, and you know they were kind of pointing to me, and they were like coming up to me saying some things, and of course my friends were La Mountain and Nanita. I remember you guys, and you know, we were saying, "Oh no, gringo, he's a wrestler from out of state." And eventually, we started showing them videos and stuff, and they completely chilled out, and they were like, "Oh, he's a wrestler," blah blah, blah kind of thing. You know, but before they went, they had to make sure they turned around and kind of give us one more like look, just to say, "Yeah, like we let you go," type of thing. And then they got in their car and left.
They checked your immigration status in the street.
I guess so. What? Was that a setup for a joke?
No. It's just like another one of those things that like that doesn't happen in the United States.
Oh yeah.
That is, I mean, there's like ICE raids, but like
It's,
a normal police interaction does not include that, and that is true.
but now, unless you're in a border area, things are changing. In
Yeah.
the border states and stuff, it's
Yeah.
now becoming like what we just did if you appear to be an immigrant or
Yeah.
something like that. Now,
If-
it's kind of
if-
fucked up too because you can be
maybe.
a citizen.
If it's ICE, I don't know, dude. I'll tell a story, man, and I don't even want to bring it up to people because it's like it's not divisive. It's actually a very, very heartwarming and like untragic story. But like, even amidst all this, like, basically in America, my neighbor and they're of Mexican descent. They're not there no more, but and the girl they only spoke Spanish. Basically, she took the lady next door took her daughter and ran away from her husband. And the only place she knew to go was to her neighbor's house, to my house. Ran away from her husband because he was beating the fucking shit out of her. And the police, from a very small town, the police came to my house, waited patiently on like 20 minutes. I was there for a translator, but they got to do it officially, so it's documented. Waited for like 20 minutes patiently on like a translator for the phone so they could go through, so that she could get a real report recorded to the phone and like make it actually go through documents. She was taken care of for her. This is not ICE. This is local PD. But she was taken care of based on her language. She needed to go to the hospital, and she needed to take her baby to her friend's house. Which, by the way, this woman was a slave to this man. This woman did not know how to operate a cell phone. This woman did not know anybody's phone number. This woman did not know the address of the house she was going to take her baby to with a family member.
She's vulnerable.
She only knew how to get to the address. So the police, who could have one, called an ambulance and charged the woman $3,000 or whatever the fuck. Two, called ICE and got her deported. They never asked once. Never did it come up. She even said, "I don't give a fuck if I get deported. My head hurts," to me before I called the police, before I called the ambulance. She was like, "I don't give a fuck if I get deported. My head is splitting with a headache, and I need to go to the hospital, and I need to take care of my baby." Not only did they not do that, they did not call DFAX on the kid, which was an option because the only other option besides calling DFACS was for him to put this woman and her baby in his patrol car
Yeah.
with a borrowed seat, with a borrowed baby seat from my nephew at my house. Put that bitch in the car, drove first by only pointing directions in fucking Spanish, drove to this other person's house. They dropped the baby off. He then fucking got back in the car, drove her to the hospital without having to pay a medical bill, and also without calling ICE. And then he drove back to my house, gave the fucking car seat back, and like followed up with us and made sure we had a contact and like information and shit like that. But I don't want to take away from anybody's real life experience. I don't want to take away from any fucked up shit that's happening like with ICE. I look at ICE the same way as like the police. Get those people who did those shit in those videos and let's keep it moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was the most, and I don't even like the world is. I don't want to blame the world, but I felt uncomfortable talking about it before because like I just didn't want to hear the fucking comment section about other stories that are true and that do exist. But I just didn't want to hear it, you know. But that sincerely happened to me, like in front of my eyes, and these are young, my age, like cops that don't fucking hardly make a living, you know, and they don't speak Spanish. They sat on the phone with these fucking dumbass people on the translator app, bro. Like it was
patient,
inspiring. It was inspiring, and
wonderful.
I'm glad I got inspired to say it out loud.
Excellent example of like shit done right, you know.
Yeah.
Excellent example. Like you love to see it. You love to see it. You love to see like people actually giving a fuck about their communities and like actually doing the work and making the sacrifices and not just taking the easy route. Like you love to see it.
I say that to say that is not their job. He did not go against protocol by not doing those things. But it's not his job to make sure that the immigrants are round up. His job is to make sure that this lady's fucking safe.
Yeah.
And to make sure that I'm safe as a neighbor from this man who might come back. Bro, I don't know what the lead was. I don't know. They went and fucking got his ass, bro. They fucking like, he like got in front of her. He's like, make sure she understands that when we leave here, we're going to go arrest her husband.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, oh, yeah, she had even said to the opposite point that she had called the police on him before and they had not done shit. She had called the police on him for beating her up and they had not done shit before.
Yeah.
But dude, you should have seen this man. She had a bite mark on her back that when the cops saw, dude, like it just became like this mission. Like, no, I don't give a fuck.
Get this guy.
He works he works like we're in Norcross. They drove to fucking Norcross and got his ass and took his ass to jail or whatever the fuck his process was. And she was like, you know, take care of your baby or whatever, you know? Crazy
I think
story.
at the end of the day, like shit like that just reminds you how fortunate we are to wake up every day to be able to be leisurely listening to a podcast like this one from Hostel Bob
Yeah.
and Van Gogh, because we don't, you know, we're not worried about being shot or our house blown up or something. And if you are, you know, no disrespect. I want you know, if you're out there and you're listening to us and man, that just made me pause right there because like
It's powerful, right?
shit.
Somebody did that shit for fucking like $30,000 a year. Somebody makes $30,000 a year and get that shit. I also don't want to hear that Americans are not patriotic. Americans are patriotic as fuck, dude. Anyways,
Segue.
so you land in Colombia. Right? You can edit it however you want.
That was great.
Yeah, that was. I've never really told that story. I've told that story at work, but like, never really. Never
Right.
in the
This is gonna be not fuck. This will be after dark because
You're lighting up?
it's important that we were
All right.
talking about weed in the story. So
Yeah.
okay, let's go. Yeah, so fucking Bolivia was insane. The wrestling, all that. Me and Mr. Grimm, my friend, parted ways, and I had 3 days in Medellin, Colombia. as a stopover for Mexico. Got a really good deal, like $128 from Medellin, Colombia to Mexico City. I couldn't pass that up. That was a flight Thursday night, 9:30, 10:30 p.m. Landing
You
at 2 a.m.
explored that option.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was actually, I like Colombia, I've had some adventures in Medellin, as you know.
Yeah.
Very familiar. But I figured 3 days living in Medellin, the hotel's like $15. You know what I mean? The food's very cheap. Have a little bit of staycation before coming to Mexico, joining my boy, right?
Let's go.
So crazy. So I booked this hotel that's right in the heart of the grit of downtown. Like you can't get more downtown than this particular point. This plaza where the subway station's kind of right here.
Mm-hmm.
And this hotel's on the corner of this very open Plaza Portero. It's the tourists, the brave tourists, I'd say, would come and take photos and stuff like that. But usually they don't stay very long and they're back in their taxi and they leave. But it's a super vibrant area. The street work is a bit overwhelming. There's a lot of work going on around there. It's a very grimy, gritty kind of area, but it's so full of like life and like the things that people are selling on the streets, and it's just very convenient. Anyway, so I'm staying at the Mandala Hotel right at the corner of this plaza. It has a rooftop terrace where not super fancy rooftop terrace that we can smoke. Got to find a place to smoke. You know what I mean? But yeah, this place is legit like $16 a night, like crazy. So yeah, I get there. I'm tired as all hell, but check in. Got to find something to smoke. I didn't bring anything with me, so I go out around the plaza, and I'm like, I don't really got no leads. Usually, my guy's standing right here, or you ask the person that you eat lunch. You eat lunch, and you ask the person like, hey, like, anybody that has weed around here? Which I did, but the lady did not.
The waiter. I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard Ari Shafir says that.
Yes,
the waiter.
that both times before was the first connect was the waiter. The waitress didn't have no connects for me, so it was basically maybe ask some random people in the streets. Sure enough, found this lady smoking and asked her, and she's like, "Hey, not me, but asked other people." Ended up just random guy, like it could be anybody, right? Just random guy just standing by the pole. It's getting a little bit dark. Maybe it's like 8:00, maybe 7. And I just translate the thing. I'm like, hey, where I can find some marijuana? You go like this first. Like, and he goes, no, me. And I was like, donde? And he goes, you'll say it. Like I know. But he goes like this, like, you got to take care of me a little bit first. I'm like, no problem. So he's like, come follow me. So I follow him across the street. We go kind of around the corner, not too far. There's a guy with a fanny pack standing there. You can smell the smoke in the air. And the guy goes up to him and is like, weed. He opens his fanny pack, and that's what I wanted to see. Badass Colombian blunts. They cost 5,000 Colombian pesos. So the street term is cinco lucas para uno. 5 for the one, 5 for the one blunt. And since I've done this before, they're not going to give me the tourist prices. Some other guy was like, oh, I got one for 10. I'm like, fuck you. So I bought like 4 of them bitches, broke off my man a 10, which he was super happy about. That's like the price of 2 blunts. He ran off nice and happy. And there we go. So after 2 hours, got my weed, get to the hotel, ready to roll these games, ready to go. Get up to the rooftop. Like, man, this view is great. You can see the view of the plaza. And it's crazy. Like, the whole reason it took me longer to find weed than normal is because there was way more police presence in the area, which is cool. You always hear like Medellin's getting safer and things like that. Cool to see, but like there was kind of a lot of police kind of in the area. So we're do we have to do this?
Just making sure. No, I'm just kidding. Instead of having it right here.
Don't I have this?
Yeah, but use your hand. It might be better with your hand.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm on the plaza. Roll the blunt. I'm sitting there smoking. And then out walks one of the other guests of the hotel. And he sits down, hola. And look at this Asian dude. Not that that's super relevant, but the fact is I know he's not a local.
Racist.
I know he's not a local.
Racist.
And
fucking Asian guy. Look at this fucking Asian guy over here.
So anyway, I had the blunt still lit. He didn't seem bothered. So he kind of looked up at me and kind of smiled. And I said, "Do you want?" And he was like, "Really? Like, for me?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then he said English, and I was like, yeah, English. He's like, oh, I'm from the United States. I'm from Vegas. I'm like, I'm from Georgia. So cool. We started hitting it off. Cool thing. He's a sushi chef. Getting to the point though, we're both smoking. We roll another one. We both got blunts in our hands. And he was like, hey, have you been in Medellin before? And I was like, man, definitely. Man, I got a story. So I started getting in a story where I was running from the guys, almost got mugged, and all that. We did on the last podcast. Link in description if you want to go check that out. So that whole freaking episode where I was wrestling the cops and whatnot, and it was all this misconfusion, and I ended up getting away. But yeah, so I'm telling the story, and we both got blunts in our hand. I'm on the ground, like on the ground, showing him the position I was in with the one cop has me in the sleeper hold, and the other cop has the handcuff on me. And I'm like on the ground on the terrace, and we're laughing and cutting up, and we're drinking a little bit. And then all of a sudden, he just freezes. And because he's standing up, and he goes, Policia, Policia. And I'm on the ground. I look over through the glass patio, and sure enough, there's the hotel owner. There's 3 police officers uniformed. It's fine now. It's after dark.
Yeah, but I'm filming everything.
You can do what you will with yours.
Oh, okay.
Different audience. You got 3 officers, a freaking drug dog, apparently, the owner of the hotel, and 2 more people videotaping what's going on. And we're like, oh, crap. So, of course, I get my ass up. I grab the 4 or 5 blunts that I have on the table and trying to be not inconspicuous too, because they can see us, but they're not looking at us though. They're looking at a room. They're all looking at one room specifically. So we're trying to look for a place to hide the blunts just in case we throw it under this pot. And my new friend freaks out, just throws his blunt on top of the pot, visible. And we kind of go back to acting like we're just talking, because we don't know if they saw us or what. They had to have. They had to have seen me on the floor, ridiculous, walking up the steps. I don't know how long they were there. So they're focused on this room. And they fucking go in the room. The lady unlocks it, and they go in the room with the dog and all the officers. And 40 seconds later, they all come out okay, we didn't find anything. And we're just okay. And then they all stop, and one of them looks at the patio and points directly at us, pointing at the patio. And then they start coming over to the patio. And one of the officers opened the door, and we're like, when is our chance? He's like, hola, hola. He doesn't seem concerned with us specifically. We're like, did someone call on us, or what's going on? He comes out of the patio with the dog, and he goes to the right of us. Now, the weed's over there under that pot. There's pots all around, the rim. And he starts going on the other side where there's no weed. And sure enough, the dog starts sniffing each pot individually. And we're like, fuck. We picked the worst place. I almost threw it over. I was like, nah, I can't throw it over the balcony. I almost threw it in the trash.
Yeah.
That was the only place I could think. So he goes all the way around. Then he goes to the other side, and he's getting close to the pot. He's getting closer and closer. And I have the view. I can see him. But my new friend, his back is to him. He's like, did he find it? Did he find it? I'm like, they're going to, man. But they can't prove it's us. We just might, it's my weed. I would be out. And he gets to the pot. And then they keep going. And then they go to the next pot. And I'm like, the dog went past the pot. And he's like, what? And then they leave. They leave the patio, and all the officers go downstairs, and that's it. And we're like, the fuck just happened? Because weed is not legal in Colombia. It is not supposed to be not okay. You can smell it in the streets, especially in this area. Smell it all over. But I walk around smoking, but if I see a group of police, I go the other way or put it out. It's kind of thing. So shit. He's like, that's got to be a fake dog. It's got to be a fake dog. No way. My blood's sitting right there. I'm like, how the fuck? Yeah. We're just beside ourselves. So we grab our weed, and we're like, hey, cool, let's just go in for now, because that was kind of spooked. So I go in, I take a nap. I think that's it. So I go out back to the porch later. That was freaking crazy. I guess there was a specific thing they were looking for in that room. No more problems. I'm in my hotel. I'm safe. I can keep smoking. So I'm smoking by myself. I'm in the corner on the side, and out comes another parent hotel guest. Older guy, 45. He's got a kind of dressed business casual, but a little bit of not super taut or anything, like frumpy business casual. And he comes out and he kind of like stands there like proud, and he like looks over the beautiful view, and he kind of catches me in the corner, and he looks at me and goes, "Hola, buenas noches." I'm like, "Buenas noches," and I'm on the phone at the time on a web call, but it had just disconnected, so they're trying to call me back and shit, and I'm just like, "Oh, buenas noches," trying to, and I have the blunt in my hand. And I don't know this guy yet, but I'm sure he's not a cop. So he starts coming over. He goes, "Mucho gusto." He starts coming to me, and I'm like, "Okay." So I go over him a little bit with the blunt just down like this, and I shake his hand with the other one. I'm like, "Oh, mucho gusto," and he said something in Spanish. Presidente. And I'm just like, "What?" And he says it again. Presidente. And I'm just looking at him, and my phone is going off, and he goes, "Inglés?" I was like, "Oh, English." And he's like, "Spanish?" I'm like, "Yeah, some, but you gotta más lento, habla lento. You gotta talk slower." And he goes, "Oh, sorry. My name is Danny Sequeira. I'm the next president of Colombia." And I'm just like, what lit? Just like, don't know what to make of this man. like, are you fucking with me? Like, and he says it again. "I am Danny Sequeira, the next president of Colombia." So then I started thinking, if he's legit, I'm smoking weed in your country, sir. Like, then I started thinking, like, I must be, am I in trouble? Like, so many thoughts are going through my head. At that moment, the glass opens again, and now out walks a uniformed police officer. And immediately, I take the blunt, extinguish it on my leg, and throw it in my pocket. Because and Danny's still like talking to me, and I'm just like, he had to have smelled it. He had to have known. He had to, but he no sold it. Totally no sold the blunt. But the cop comes out. He looks at us talking and kind of like goes to the other side of the patio and just waits. He's like waiting for us to finish, and I'm like, what? So then I'm like, "Hey, I'm on the phone, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "Oh, no problem." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, well, nice to meet you." Cool. So I go back to my spot and I'm just looking. And he goes over to the police officer, and they go and look over the city, and they just start talking like as if they know each other and as if they're making plans. They're pointing to the subway. And I'm just like, I don't remember what he said. So then another officer comes out. He shakes his hand studiously, like with respect. Another officer comes out, and I'm just like, what is going on? Eventually, it's down to him. They were out there for at least an hour. I didn't want to leave until I knew what was going on. And so I was just doing my thing in the corner, and they were doing their thing. And the officer occasionally would look over. He looked over, and then he took out his phone, and they started doing a campaign video right there on the view. And then at
with
the end,
police officers.
yeah, the police officer filmed it. And I'm like, okay, he's got to be somebody.
Yeah.
And that might explain the police presence around the plaza. So then they wrap up and they start to go inside, and he goes, "Oh, mucho gusto, buenas noches, buenas noches." And then I'm like, wait, I got to get the guy's name. So he's walking down the step, and I'm like, "Hey, sir, what is your name?" And he goes, "I'm Danny Sequeira, the next president of Colombia." Maybe a little less dramatic, but I was like, damn, kind of cool. So yeah, man, that was my story. Until later that night, I'm back on the patio. This is way later in the night. This is like 11 p.m. Back on the patio with another new guy I just met. We're out there. I'm smoking a little bit. He's chilling. And out comes Danny Sequeira. He comes back out. Turns out he's staying in our hotel. This $15 a night hotel right in the plaza. He's staying in the hotel. That's why the cops are always in and out.
He's got my vote for that, dude, for staying there.
That was his room the first night. So we started thinking maybe that was a bomb dog.
Yeah, the dog was looking for bombs or for weapons or something.
Either it was a drug dog that was bad at his job, or it was a fucking bomb dog, and they were sniffing to make sure before he stayed there.
That's wild.
Wild.
It's insane. So what happened when it was 11 p.m.?
So he comes back out. He's like, "Oh, mi amigo. Oh, man." And he sits between us as if he's like a long lost friend. And he starts showing us all these private videos and photos of his travels, of like his food and like the ladies he's hanging with and shit like that. And we're like, "Oh no, this guy sounded like a baller," and he's like so proud and like happy with the campaign, and he's talking about showing us like group meetings with officials, and here's when I was with Miss Universe, and here's when I met the ambassador to serve somebody to somebody. And I'm like, dang. Drop the mic. So,
And I'm like, dang.
I'm like, dang. So eventually, I was like, he asked like, what are we doing in Medellin, or what are we doing here? Oh no, we asked him why he's like, why are you staying here of all places? He says, oh, I'm from here. I'm from Medellin. I grew up here, and everyone knows me. All the street workers know me, all the bar people know me. Everybody knows me. Like I love Medellin, and I want to do well for the country. So it's pretty cool. He's like, he seemed like a guy of the people, to stay down to earth, like in the sticks. You know, so you got the police outside the hotel, police staying in the hotel. They had a 24/7 police officer on the top floor where we were, like right outside where we were smoking at. Like if you look over the plaza, you see the military they had AK-47s, and they were like manning the plaza all night. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So anyway, I told him I was a wrestler, and he was like, "Oh, lucha libre," and and I ended up showing him my highlight video. Always have a highlight video. If I'm talking too much, man, dude, interrupt. Speaking of interruption, that truck. All those trucks.
I let you keep talking the whole time. I'm one of those guys, dude. I like what. Yeah, keep it going.
You like the video. So so I show him my video, and this guy can't believe it. He's like, wow, like jaw dropping on the floor, and like, because the cool thing is the first 2 minutes is like the wrestling stuff, and the last 3 minutes of the video is just kind of like feel good videos, just like traveling stuff, kind of like when we visited the school, stuff like that. Like, only if you're a diehard fan, you'll keep watching that long. This man watched the entire 5.5 minute video, paid attention, didn't check his phone not once, just watched the whole thing. And then when he was so enthralled with it, I said, "Hey, can I go get my mask? You take videos?" He's like, "Please go get your mask." So I went to go get my mask. I came back. He was watching it again, and he was sending it to people on his WhatsApp. He was sending it to me. He said he even posted a clip of it in whatever campaign group, his like campaign group or whatnot. Like he posted, like, check this video out, everybody.
Dude, there's a rebel flag on that thing, bro.
Confederate flag.
What?
There's a Confederate flag.
It's a rebel flag. There's a Confederate flag. Yeah, get that, bro. I don't want to fuck with my shit. Sorry. We had to stop the podcast because there's an 18-wheeler with a Confederate flag in Mexico. So that's the subtitle, is Mexico is racist.
Yo, my fly's down and everything. Why are you telling me my fly was down, bro?
You can't see it.
Ooh.
All right.
Anyway,
so he's sending your clips out on WhatsApp.
So he's like all in. Then he sees I come out with the belt, with the EWF Underground Championship, which I don't have right now. Sent back in there, and the mask on, and he's like, sits back in his chair, and he's like, wow, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I said, I got some gifts for you. I gave him some Lucha Wear stickers, a couple things, and he looks at each sticker, and then I said, I have a photo. And then his eyes lit up. I guess he's not much of a sticker man, but he saw the 8x10. It was a photo from BZW in France. Another crazy travel story we'll get to one day.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to sign it for you. And I took out the marker, and he goes, wait, para. And he tells the other guy next to me, he gives him his phone. He's like, record this. And he says, wait. And then he just gets on video, and he starts saying, no, I skipped a little something. Right before this, when he was watching the video, and we get to the feel-good part at the end where I'm like training the wrestlers and all that stuff, I started explaining a little bit about the Weekend Lucha movement. Like, hey, we kind of go to areas that wrestling is kind of hard to, get going because of the economy and stuff like that. And we kind of like bring our experience, and we try to make wrestling here and try to like make it work. And it's kind of like that. And he was like, through the broken English Spanish, he was like really listening. And he's like, it seemed like he took it to heart. Like he was like, okay. And then he said, stop. We're going to do shows in Colombia. He says, I wanted to be a wrestler when I was a kid. In Colombia. So then I go get the mask. I come back with the basket belt. I present the photo. He stops me. Then we start the video, his video. And he announces, basically, he's like, hi, I'm with the champion of champions, the aerial artist. And he's gonna bring the most spectacular lucha libre, most spectacular lucha
I'm with
libre
the champion of champions.
in Colombia, and we're gonna do a 5-city tour. Now we didn't talk about this, like 40 seconds ago, like and he's announcing this in this video, a 5-city tour. It's the best wrestling. Danny Cicada with lucha libre, and then I signed it for him in the video and presented it to him. Thinking great. And we continued to sit and chat for another hour after that, just shooting the shit before he finally went to bed. And we exchanged info. I got his phone number. He got mine. He sent me his video. He told me to send the pictures to him. And then there we go. So I don't know what to make of all that, right? And then the next morning, or even later the next night, I was already at the airport at this point, but he hits me up on Instagram. He's like, hey, go meet me at this bar. It's around the corner from our hotel. I want you to meet somebody. Like, when you meet one of my friends. It's really close. Can you come? And I'm like, I'm on the plane right now. Oh, sorry, man, but let's coordinate. So that's where I'm at with this. Crazy first day in Medellin. Like, what?
Wow. Yeah, that shit is fucking crazy, bro. And you were just right there on the balcony.
To think I almost went out that night.
Dude, and I got this story through a group of at one at a time, through groups of fucking Facebook messages. And I got no service, and he and I are trying to coordinate where we're gonna stay the next day. And I'm like, I really need important details. And all I'm getting is the president this, the president that, the president this. And I'm only getting some of them, and some of them aren't going through. And I'm in this little magic hut in Mexico. And I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about with the president? And what the it was just so funny, dude. What in the fuck?
You completely no sold the messages. You were right on. I need the pertinent info, which I appreciated, because one of us had to be down to earth at that point, not on cloud nine.
That's so wild.
So I don't know what this. I gotta preface this. I don't know what this guy's views are politically. I tried to look it up. There's a lot of Spanish. No excuse though. I'm gonna look into him, but I hope he's a good guy. He seems like a good guy. Everyone seems to like him.
If there's anyone you can fucking stay out of it and still be friends, it's the president of Colombia. We don't live in Colombia.
Yeah, it's kind of it's different from
we met the president. As if someone from Mexico came and met Biden or Trump, they'd probably be stoked. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I hope he wins, Danny Cicada. If you live in Colombia,
too, dude.
Vote for Danny Cicada, and I'll have a presidential friend. Do you understand what this could do? This for the Weekend Lucha movement. That's the tipping point that could really make a huge difference. Just a real sponsor, you know what I mean? All the patrons watching this, Weekend Lucha After Dark, you know what I mean? It does are sponsors, but
it does seem too good to be true.
It does.
If that was a person that let's apply it to okay. If that was a promoter for a show that you just happened to meet and was yeah, man, we're gonna do all this. I'm a presidential man of the people. I'm super over the top nice to people from over across the room. I'm putting myself over, but I'm also very nice and engaging. I look you in the eyes. I'm engaging. I care about you. That could also be a goddamn psychopath. That's really well done.
But he's a legit government official.
Yeah.
He's escorted by the police and the
no, he's not. I'm not saying he's a crazy person pretending to be that.
Yeah.
I'm saying that he could be a psychopath that's running for president. You know what I mean?
Very true.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's faking it. I'm saying
the fact that
faking that.
Right. But the fact that he already has the escorts and stuff means he's already an official. He's not just a random nobody, at least, running.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he might be a piece of shit.
Very true.
Yeah.
I don't know that part.
That could be the things I'm talking the related, the niceness, the relatability, those are things that can be faked and over the toply done correctly.
You could be blowing smoke up our ass completely, but I feel like you don't give your real number to someone unless you're just really comfortable.
Instagram is crazy.
Because I posted a picture of us and I kind of put him over a little bit. Hey, I met the president, blah, blah, blah. And then he messaged me after he saw it, presumably.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, now morally, let me ask you. Let's just say, for instance, he is a piece of shit. Or at least, maybe not the worst piece of shit, but not a great dude. But he's still willing to sponsor your wrestling tour. Do you go with it?
Yes. I don't give a fuck, dude. I do not give a fuck, bro.
Is there a line?
Don't care. Like,
is there like a?
Not like a presidential. He did this. He said this.
He kills babies regularly.
He kills babies
once a month.
Bro,
he kills one baby once a month.
Come on, man. Like, no, I don't give a fuck what my president does. Like, no.
Please don't kill babies.
No, get the fuck. No, that's why I don't want it. That's why I don't want to text my friends about him, because I'm like, oh, I don't even want to get into it. Like,
I just want a view from a Colombian. If you're watching this, you know anything about politics in Colombia from like a real perspective, not you sit on the internet and Google it like we're doing. Who is this Danny Cicada guy? Should I be as excited as I am? I'm trying to like manage my expectations here. But number one, I am moving forward. God damn it, I am moving forward. You know what I mean?
Say that again.
Like, I'm saying I'm trying to manage my expectations here because there's a lot I don't know.
I don't care about his political views. I just care if like he's blowing smoke up our asses to like, dude, we can't even vote for him. Why would he blow smoke up our asses? You know
I think it's good for his campaign.
It is good for his campaign.
Because the election's May 2026. I felt like he wanted to do it like a rally, like a wrestling show rally. He kept saying many people. So in this case, it's going to help him. Dude, he looked at those moves and he was like,
he's seen UFC. Bro, he's seen UFC at the White House and he's like, I got an idea, brother.
That's what I'm thinking. So if we engage him with that type of whimsy, we could make some really cool shit happen.
Shout out the president.
Shout out to the maybe next president, Danny Cicada. All right, well, we're about to wrap up this story unless there's any... Is that a police bus?
Nah, it's like a party bus. Or it's just like a bus. They just look like that.
Anyway.
God, that smells crazy.
A lot of smells out here. Boom. Watch my story, Danny Cicada. Boom. So, Bobby, what else you got going on?
Just wrestling, dude. Just wrestling. You got any other stuff you want to talk about from Colombia and?
Not really. Something's going on out here.
Policia.
About to wrap up. Our next plan now is tomorrow morning. We head out. We go to catch a bus. Head down to our first wrestling date, the Hamburguesa Festival.
Yep. Tomorrow we hit the road, man, and that's fine for me to end it. What a good way to end it.
There we go. Boom.
Just put your mic to the police.
Thanks for joining us, Bobby.